Time is.
That should have 1 minute. Let me get my glasses on here and we'll get started.
That clock is slightly off. Oh, it's
Yeah.
6:01.
It's 6:01.
What's the computer say?
6:01.
All right. Welcome, everybody, to the Tuesday, July 1st, 2025 board meeting of the McKinleyville Community Services District. Thank you for being here. I'd like to call to order the meeting. Joy, if you'd please.
Director Binder,
Here.
Director Couch,
Here.
Vice President Mayo,
Present.
and Director Orsini.
Present.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to ask us to all stand and do the Pledge of Allegiance. And Director Couch, would you be so kind as to lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Could we please have a roll call?
Just did.
Oh, I apologize. Pledge of allegiance. My apologies, everybody. Are there any additions or changes to our agenda tonight?
We have no additions or changes to the agenda. I am gonna, since we are recording this on Zoom, I am gonna correct. You said July 1st. It's actually July 2nd today. So just so for the recording.
Yeah.
When you introduce the meeting.
On the page here, it says July 1.
Huh. Well,
So let us correct that in our minutes.
Yeah.
The comments need to be there before July 1st. The very July 2nd.
All right, my apologies. Tonight is the July 2nd meeting of the McKinleyville Community Services, and we'll adjust that in our minutes.
Correct.
Thank you. Thank you, Pat, for clarifying that. And no additions to the agenda. And would somebody care to approve?
I'll move to approve the agenda.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Director Binder,
Yes.
Director Couch,
Yes.
Vice President Mayo,
Yes.
Director Orsini.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion moves. Closed session discussions, and we have no closed session discussions tonight. Item B, public hearings. And we have no public hearings tonight. Public comment and written communication. Any person may address the board at this time upon any subject not identified in this agenda. You'll have an opportunity to address those when that agenda item comes up. And if you have complex issues, we would like you to give them to us in writing so that we can address them. There's no way we can deal with them tonight. They're not agendized. So any public comment or written communications, please come to the microphone, and it'd be nice if you'd identify yourself, but you do not have to.
Kevin Creed, McKinleyville resident.
Excuse me, sir. Is the mic on? I can't hear.
Yeah, it's green here.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Please continue.
No, Kevin Creed, McKinleyville resident, came to thank the board for approving the rule change for the e-bikes in the forest. I got out yesterday or day before. It was great. Also to recognize the TICS subcommittee, the work that they put into reviewing the proposal, making good edits, likewise the Community Forest Committee that support it and go through. I think this is a good example of how a resident with some idea or proposal can become engaged in the process, work with the subcommittees, and see it come to fruition. So anyway, thank you.
Thank you for your comment.
Thanks, Kevin.
Oh, I think public comment can be closed now.
Of course it is. That's how it is. I see. All right. Well, most of you know me. So my name is Timothy Woodward. I am a resident of McKinleyville. I live up in the Sutter Ranch neighborhood. So my comments to you tonight, and I just want to say that I want to discuss the former Green Diamond property that borders McKinleyville Community Forest and several McKinleyville neighborhoods, including my own, which is the Sutter Ranch neighborhood. I'm aware, that this board has only the only responsibility it has in regards to that property that I'm going to discuss is the easement that you have in place, that you had originally in place with Green Diamond and now with the new ownership. So I'm aware of that as are several people. But I do want to also make some comments that as community members, as I am, we all have a say or have an opinion about this. So, I know you guys have no jurisdiction except the road easement, and I want to ask the board to keep the existing location of the easement in place and reject any request to move the road easement to the south border of this property, which is my north border, and many neighbors that would place a very busy and noisy access road about 30 feet away from my house. This would lower property values, diminish our quality of life, and introduce a new security risk to our families. I do not like to interfere with people's property rights and what they do on their property, but when it has an immediate and direct effect on all the neighbors, then we need to find a neighborly, hopefully find a neighborly solution to do that and be good neighbors to each other. So, and although you guys, the MCSD board has no authority over the land use, zoning, or timber harvest plans, I want to make the entire board aware and the community members that may not be aware of a recent timber harvest conversion plan filed by the new owner, Paul Chamberlain, and his newly formed Roshan Ranch LLC. This plan calls for about 26 acres, 26.1 on the timber harvest plan, of complete and permanent clear cut and removal of all trees and brush, including the buffer zone that was left in place by Green Diamond around our neighborhoods. This will cause a significant change in wind patterns, with the cold northwest winds now changing our way of life and quality of lives. What is now a quiet and calm neighborhood will become a noisy, windy, and cold place to live. Property values will drop substantially, and subsequently so will county tax revenues, as assessed values will also drop. I want to point out that the registered professional forester on record that prepared and submitted the timber harvest plan is a current member of the McKinleyville Community Forest Committee, Todd Truesdale. That may be considered a conflict of interest. Just want to point that out for awareness sakes. I got 19 seconds. So this was sold for about $475,000 for the entire 26 acres recently, and they've already flagged all the boundary lines for harvest and the truck roads, et cetera. I won't go into the rest of this. I did speak with CAL FIRE a couple times, and I am having a meeting with Paul Chamberlain tomorrow. So we will be meeting and having a nice discussion. So thank you.
Thank you for your comment.
Thanks, Tim.
Are there any other public comments? Let's get all that.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Director Ortiz, Hank, don't leave. Director Ortiz might want to talk to you. All right, thank you. Please continue.
Okay, great. So hi, my name is Nicolette Amon, and I am also a longtime resident of the Sutter Ranch subdivision. And I'm here today as a representative of the Neighborhood Coalition in opposition to the timber harvest plan for that area that Tim was talking about. Tim is also part of this coalition. We recently started a petition, a public petition, and as of today, the petition was published Monday morning. And right before I came in, I checked, we're up to 250 signatures on that petition. So just to let you know that this is not just Tim with this opposition to the timber harvest plan. We in fact have a coalition and currently have 250 supporters for that coalition. And the coalition represents not just representatives from Sutter Ranch, or not just residents from the Sutter Ranch subdivision, but also from surrounding areas 1st and 2nd Street. And we have a large list of concerns with that conversion plan, including environmental impact as well as safety concerns for families in the area. And I'll add to that the maintenance of 1st and 2nd Street roads. We believe it's inappropriate to have that as the route for the timber harvest plan. So in addition to the concerns that Tim mentioned, those are a couple of extra. I would like to read to you from the last paragraph of the petition. It reads, Roshan Ranches LLC plan to convert the newly acquired property by removing all of the existing trees will cause significant harm to adjacent residents and decrease the quality of life for all community members. You, as the McKinleyville Community Services Board, I believe have a responsibility to be educated about what's happening, and perhaps to consider the community members and the position of the community members in opposition. We urge that those in decision-making positions reconsider and modify the timber harvest plan. We recognize that that is not this board directly, but we do believe that you have a responsibility to be informed about what's happening. We urge those in decision-making positions to reconsider and modify the timber harvest plan to preserve a minimum of a 100-foot buffer, to preserve all of the trees within that buffer, and to maintain the current easement access as Tim mentioned. Thank you.
Would you hang on just a second? Thank you for your comment. I apologize. I did not write your name down.
Yeah, it's Nicolette and last name is Amann, and I live on Nicolette, last name Amann. Amon,
Last
yeah.
letter?
N, yeah, Amann.
I apologize, guys.
Oh, that's okay.
Getting work
that's okay.
together.
Yeah,
Thank you, Nicolette.
okay, yeah, and I'm on Dragonfly Drive.
Thank you.
Anyone else? No,
We do have a hand up on Zoom.
I didn't hear you, Joy.
We do have attendees on Zoom.
Thank you. Thank
Can,
you.
can I make a point to the board, to the president?
Certainly.
So I think we're pretty clear about the timber. I would like any comments that we have from here on out to be about within our purview. If they're not within our purview, I think that we should ask them to hold their comments.
I think that's a fair comment, Director Ortega. I'm not sure that the members of the public are going to adhere to that or not. I think that's correct. Is it on?
I think that's correct, but I'm not sure.
Okay, well, you're the
that-
board.
that-
You're the board president. You can.
Well,
I'm just making
I-
a comment.
certainly.
I think they should have their full 3 minutes here regardless of whether it's in our purview or not. We have a lot of precedent for that.
Well,
Okay.
I agree with that, and
I'll acquiesce.
I just want to be sure that everybody knows, because this is something that is a kind of a thought process with this board. We want to let people have their positions put out. We understand, but it's very clear that a lot of what's being discussed is absolutely out of our purview
Yeah.
completely. That's all. All right. So online, I don't know who's there, but Joey, if you'd please state who they are and let them be on, I'd appreciate it.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Stacy. I'm a resident, also living near the Rohan Ranch property and bordering the community forest. And I'd like to speak specifically about the easement leading through Rohan Ranch to the proposed community forest parking lot and the impacts that increased traffic would have on our neighborhood. This vehicle easement would bring significantly more traffic through a residential area that's not equipped to accommodate it. Park Road and First Road do not have sidewalks, there's no bike lanes, and the roads are in very bad shape. Increased traffic, especially without pedestrian infrastructure, poses a serious safety risk to those who use the road. And I'm sure you are aware, as mentioned by the previous commenters, that this is the same road they plan to use for the heavy logging equipment if that plan goes through. Not sure where you fall on this, but one idea would be that they could take the logging traffic out Essex and through that existing logging forest road that goes through the park. So that is one idea to avoid putting that traffic through the neighborhood. And I would also encourage you, before making any decisions regarding the easement, I'd invite you to visit our neighborhood, drive down Park Road, First Road, look at the conditions, see how close our homes are to the street. We're very close to the street. Notice the absence of sidewalks and bike lanes, and ask yourself, honestly, is increasing traffic here truly in the best interest of our community? Right now there is a trail. It's a walking, biking trail, and we have absolutely no complaints about that. People from our neighborhood will walk back into the forest via that easement all day, every day, and it's no trouble. There's the point here is that putting in a road to a parking lot back there changes things pretty drastically for us. And I'll close it there with a second to what Tim and Nicolette commented as far as the other impacts that are concerning for our neighborhood. And
Thank you.
yeah, thank you.
Thank you for,
yeah.
thank you for your comments, and I will ask you as well because I'm slow and I'm not hearing well tonight. I apologize. Would you please state your name again and give me the spelling of your last name, please?
It's Stacy Wilson, Wilson.
Oh, that's easy, Stacy. Thank you.
Yeah. So,
Sorry, I
and-
just didn't catch it. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Of course. And then William Grover is here, but he doesn't know how to raise his hand on the Zoom link. So
I'm fine if the rest of the board is fine with him making a comment.
okay, I'll pass this over to him.
All right.
Thanks.
Okay, board?
Fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. This is William Grover here. Thanks everyone for hearing our comments here. I understand there's been a lot of there's been a lot of contentiousness about the logging going on Roshan Ranch. So I'll spare you my thoughts on that for now. I don't believe in converting forest land, but I'm more speaking in terms of like green space access, safety concerns that park users have. We've been pleased to see that people are utilizing the park in our neighborhoods. People are walking there, people are biking there. There is some parking here at the end of First Street. And we try and accommodate those people as best they can. However, we're concerned about the road that's going to be going in there in combination with the activities that are going to be happening on Roshan Ranch. That is going to be, I think that this needs further analysis considering the multiple sorts of development that are going to be happening that may or may not be happening here. But most of all, the lack of sidewalks, the lack of is my biggest concern for the safety of the pedestrians in that area, and the people accessing the park, walking there, biking there, are essentially going to be forced off of the road by people accessing the park in their cars. And so this is a funny scenario where you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot when it comes to having a green space adjacent to town development in general, because what's the point of having a green space in town if you can't walk there, if you can't bike there? And that's one of the really nice things about this trail. It's a very low key entrance. I would propose that Sutter is much more equipped to handle this type of access, because there exist bike lanes, there exist sidewalks, and the access is much more direct, and it does not go through Roshan Ranch, and does not involve losing trails that already exist. And so that would be that's about it for now. I do have a lot of concerns about the logging and the development that's happening back there, but I understand that you guys are more concerned with the easement, so I'll leave it at that.
Thank you for your comment. Anybody else online, Joey? All right, thank you, guys. I'll bring it back to the board. If the board has any comments,
Yeah, I have a comment.
please, Greg.
Yeah, while I very much appreciate the sentiment of the people that are here, and thank you very much for coming and speaking up and taking some action related to your community. There's absolutely nothing we can do as McKinleyville Community Services District Board of Directors other than the easement, the agreement that we have with Green Diamond. And now I guess we have it because the easement was passed on through the deed with them, which has nothing to do with the logging routes. All that was all handled previously as part of the timber harvest plan. So the routes that were approved by the county are the routes that they're going to use for hauling the timber out. And we have absolutely nothing to do with that. I would request that our general manager bring back an agenda item so that we can review the proposed easement, the existing easement that we had in his proposed easement, because he's proposed a different easement, correct?
He's not formally.
He's not formally
I
yet?
mean, no, he hasn't formally
Okay.
proposed.
So maybe we should hold, what's the board's pleasure? Should we hold off until he proposes something new, since we already have an easement in place with Green Diamond that's basically been transferred to him through the deed?
All right, thank you.
With the board to have.
Director.
Well, until he makes a full site plan and outlines exactly what he wants to do with the road, yeah, we should hold off.
Yeah, okay.
So I thank you, Director Bender. But as of this moment, we have an existing agreement.
Access easement.
Easement. Okay, and that's what we have.
Correct.
And so it's moved to well, it's all right to give comments and thought processes about the future. I'm not saying that, but as far as functionality, it's a moot point at this time. There's a lot of comments I'd like to make about, as we were talking about this, and I appreciate, I'm a property owner. I live at the end of the at a small little road, the county park, which of course I'm very supportive of. 100 years from now, when we start logging that, I wonder if the same comments are going to be the same today then as now. Anyway, just about access. So, any other comments from the board or the staff? Pat, the general manager?
Just one last thing, both Timothy Woodward and Stacy Wilson did submit written comments as well, so I will pass those out to the board right now.
I appreciate that. The only other thing, and Pat, if you'd comment on this, I'd appreciate it. Although we have a nexus and there's a line there that we do care about and want to participate in, and it may grow, who knows? This would, I think of this as a more appropriate issue to take to the McMack, who would then take it to the county, because that's kind of where I see this. Maybe I'm being too narrow in my thought on this. I don't know.
Dr. Couch, do you?
I had a comment. Since we have that easement, I would be happy.
Hey, would you speak in your mic? I can't hear you.
Since we have that easement there, I would be happy to see it come back as an agenda item at some time in the future when he files a plan.
Would that be something that I could direct the general manager to do, or do we want to have the board make well, it's not an agenda,
Right. So
not in the item.
What I've told Paul, the landowner, is that if he wants to change the easement at all, he needs to put together a site plan. He needs to lay out where any proposed changes are.
Okay.
We need to see what his development is intended to be, so we know if he's laying an easement out right on the property line, et cetera, things like that, and that the board would have to approve it. So if he does formally put together that detailed of a request, then it absolutely is going to come back to the board.
Okay.
I guess I feel like it's premature to bring anything back
Right.
to the board
Yeah.
until.
I think until something changes that we can actually make a decision over, I don't see any reason to bring it back.
Absolutely.
Because we approved the easement placement, the alignment for the easement when we directed staff to move forward with the sales agreement. So.
Right.
Right, and the easement was placed to be of the best benefit for us, the easiest access and the best benefit for the community forest members as well. And if the easement road gets moved, I'd rather us not settle for anything less than we have right now in terms of access ease.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you all for your comments. Without objection from the board, I'm going to ask the general manager to keep this on his boiler, and when it's appropriate, if it comes back, to bring that back to us as an agenda item. Concurrence? All right.
Good.
All right, guys.
Thank
All right.
you. Thank you.
Yeah. And thank you all. Oh, I did want to say, unrelated, I just wanted to say, I know this area, I knew this area really well up until about the time I started chasing girls. I haven't been there for a long time. If you would give me a call, 707-832-9334. I'd love to meet with you, take a look at everything, so that I could bring my mind into the total picture of it. That doesn't mean my mind will change or sway one way or another, but I am not, I just don't have a
visual of it.
Yeah, connective to the yeah. Anyway, if you do that, I'd appreciate it, and thank you all. 9334, yes, sir.
And if you could use Google Maps, you'd be able to look at it aerially.
If I could do anything on the computer. So Greg and Bender go out of their way to make everybody know that I'm a Luddite when it comes to the machines. Okay, so thank you guys for that. All right.
No, yeah, that was just, I just wanted to thank you guys for.
Written communications. So we're done with that. We're back. We're finally at
Make sure that we're not done yet.
our,
With public
do-
comment.
well, does everybody have anybody else? I asked for other public
okay.
comment. Yes, of course I
Okay, we're
do.
done.
Thank you all. All right, so we are finally at consent calendar. Am I correct? Thank
Right.
you. The consent calendar items are expected to be routine and non-controversial, acted upon at the board of directors at one time without discussion unless any board member or public member wants to pull an item, and then we will deal with that item separately. Does anyone want to pull an item off the consent calendar? Anybody online want to pull an item off the consent calendar? No?
Seeing no other action on this, I will move to approve the consent calendar.
I'll second.
Thank you. Joy, would you call the oh, excuse me. Any comments from anybody else or comments from the audience? Online? Thank you. Joy, would you call for the question?
Director Binder,
Yes.
Director Couch,
Yes.
Vice President Mayo,
Correct.
Director Orsini.
Yes.
All right. Thank you all. We're now at item E, continued in new business. And item E1 is consider selecting a candidate for the Special Districts Association for 2025 election and then for the Northern Network, Region 1, Seat B position, and the authorized general manager, authorize the general manager to execute this official 2025 election ballot. And if you want to look at that, it's on, oh, wait a minute, page 67, and our candidate statement is on page 69. So, Joy, is that you?
That's me.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Director Mayo. The leadership of the CSDA is elected from its 6 geographical regions. Each of the 6 region networks has 3 seats on the board of directors with staggered 3-year terms. Serving on the board requires interest in leading the direction of CSDA and the issues confronting special districts statewide, and each of the candidates is either a board member or management level employee of a member district located in our network. This year's ballot will be submitted digitally and includes the following candidates: Tamara Alanis, General Manager, Brook Trails Township Community Services District; Wesley Bonheim, Director, Shelter Cove Resort Improvement District Number 1; Kylie, forgive me, Felicich, General Manager, Mendocino Park and Recreation District; Kevin Phillips, District Manager, Paradise Irrigation District. Candidate statements are contained in Attachment 1. The district is allowed one vote, which will be cast according to the consensus of the Board of Directors. Staff recommends that the board review the information provided, discuss, take public comment, and arrive at a consensus for a candidate of choice for the California Special Districts Association Board of Directors for the 2025 election for the Northern Network Region 1 Seat B position, and authorize the general manager to execute the official ballot for submission to CSDA.
Thank you, Joey. Are there any board comments on this item?
I'll let you guys go before I say anything.
Anybody? Well, I would have a comment, Greg, but I think it's more appropriate for you to go before me.
You can go first.
Well, there's no one that I could support more than Tamara Alanis. Tamara's a general manager at Brook Trails, and Tamara was prior to that in Ukiah, and prior to that she was in, help me Greg, what's South Indian Wells, anyway, she has been in the business a long time, and she is one of the most intelligent general managers, and
And you know her from being on the Aqua Region 1.
I know her from on the Aqua Region 1 board. I know her from being on the big board. I know her from advocacy that we've done together for years in terms of water. Anyway, that's about all I need to say about it. I can't give you the most highest recommendation for, now I'll give you an example. Just an odd example. Occasionally I'll email her late at night and I say, Tamara, I don't understand this. Explain it to me. She will get back to me immediately in 4 or 5 sentences. And now I understand a complex issue between the Potter Valley project and how it relates to our water. And so anyway, enough said. Director Bender, you had something you would like to say?
Well, during my my experience at Aqua Functions, I did get to meet and get to know Ms. Alanis. And I find I'll have to just second what Dennis said. She's smart as a whip. And her husband, Matt, he's also a pretty brilliant guy too. And yeah, I'll fully support her because I don't know personally the other 3 candidates, but I do know her, and I know that she's been effective in what she's been doing over the decade she's been serving in the water world.
Thank you, Director Bender. I think it's incumbent on me to also state that I know the other applicants, and they are outstanding. They're wonderful people. I mean, if Tamara wasn't in this, I would have to pick and be happy to pick from the rest of the group. I'm just saying, I rode bucking horses for a living. And when Billy Brown and Hawkeye Henson was there, I never made no money. And that's the difference. And I think I was a pretty good hand, but anyway, that's a whole nother ball game. Anybody else? Are we?
I don't know any of them, so.
Oh, you know Tamara, my God.
I may have met her, but.
Oh, yeah, you have. But anyway, that's a whole nother.
You've seen her down at
Yeah.
conference.
You've
Yeah.
talked to
Yeah,
her,
you probably bumped into her at CSDA.
not to burn you, but you had a beer with her, my friend.
Okay. Well, that's why I don't remember.
So I apologize, guys. I lost my track here. Where are we at here?
Yeah, still.
We got to pick 3.
You still haven't let me talk yet.
No, we get to.
Pick three of the four.
Get in there, buddy.
So anyway, yeah, I think that they're all probably, good candidates. Tamara, you know, her resume, speaks for itself. Another thing too that we should consider when we're picking is geography.
Yes.
She's more from the central part of our region.
She's just north of Willits.
Yeah, just north of Willis, but she's more inland than us. I think so, I think that the coastal concerns are well represented by myself. So I think it would be helpful that we had somebody that was in that area. So there's myself and there's Fred Rhinus, who's up in Bernie. And then I think having her down in the southern part of the network in more inland, would be very helpful. So, yeah, I would definitely, echo you guys' support for Tamara. And I too know her. We're general managers together and,
Yeah, thank you, Director Orsini. And again, like I said, I know these other applicants well. And something we've worked on at this board and with other members in our region is our political advocacy. And Tamara is an amazing asset in that. She has a great relationship with everybody that we deal with, not just on the legislative end of things, but regulatory. And she's amazingly well respected, and she would be nothing, in my opinion, nothing but an asset to us all. So anyway, anybody from the audience would like to speak to this issue? Joy, anybody online? All right.
I'll move to nominate Tamara Alaniz as the MCSD's choice.
I'll second.
And I'll call for the question.
Director Bitter,
Yes.
Director Couch,
Yes.
Vice President Mayo,
Yes.
Director Orsini.
Yes.
Thank you all. Thank you, Joy. All right, moving on. Let's see here. We're at item E2, if I'm correct, and we are consider selecting candidate for Special District Risk Management Authority, Board of Directors, and to authorize our general manager to execute the official 2025 election ballot. The attachment from SDRMA is on 81 and candidate statements are on page 83. If anybody would care to look at that. And all righty, bear with me here. So okay, so we are looking at Virginia Kellary, and I apologize, Virginia, if I'm pronouncing your last name incorrectly. Robert Housley, who's an incumbent, Steve Ruthagers, Steve Schaefer, an incumbent.
Mike Schaefer.
Oh, Mike Schaefer, yeah, thank you. You know Mike, yeah.
Yeah.
An incumbent. And so those are the choices. And quite frankly, I know Mike Schaefer, Mike Schaefer, but Greg knows. So
Yeah.
here you go, guys. What, anybody, I don't have any particular comments. Anybody else have any?
Just to clarify that you have to pick 4 out of the 5
Okay,
for your recommendation.
thank you.
I would propose that, that we pick the 3 incumbents and then I was going to defer to the board, to the rest of the board. Does anybody know it? Either one of these 2 other candidates? Because I don't.
I don't either.
Dave?
Well then, would someone from the audience like to comment?
Would somebody from online like to comment? Would the staff like to comment? I'll enter.
No.
Yeah, I would entertain a motion.
Okay. I've got one comment. I did rank these candidates according to their candidate statement. And, I would support the three incumbents and Ms. Carali.
Okay,
for four.
okay, is there a second to that or an amendment to that?
I'll second that.
Okay, no comments from the audience, no comments from the gallery. Joy, we'll have a motion, please.
Director Bitter,
Yes.
Director Couch,
Yes.
Vice President Mail,
Yes,
Director Orsini.
Yes.
thank you. The motion passes. And I apologize. I should have talked to Bruce Rupp about this and he would have given me a more accurate picture.
Probably would have.
And I just I didn't have the opportunity to do that. I'm sorry.
And none of the candidates reached out to us personally.
Well, that doesn't.
I
Okay.
always.
So number 3, consider topics and dates for joint McKinleyville Municipal Advisory Committee and MCSD board meetings. And that's on page 95 of the packet. And I imagine that's Joy.
Nope, it's
Oh,
me.
it's you.
Joey
Okay,
stuck
Pat.
stuck me with
I guess
it.
I better
He had
look at the
first two.
page, huh?
M-
Before I
MCSD's
say it.
board policy manual and the MCMAC bylaws state that the entities will conduct an annual joint board meeting to discuss topics of interest to both. Historically, this meeting takes place in September or October, and staff has identified the following proposed dates that coincide with the MCMAC's regular monthly meeting, either September 24th or October 22nd, 2025. Staff will inform the MCMAC chairperson of topics outlined by the MCSD board for potential discussion. To assist the board, the following list of potential topics were developed by staff. However, the board should feel free to add any additional topics of interest. Topic 1, status update on the McKinleyville Incorporation exploration. Status update number 2, status update on McKinleyville Community Forest. Number 3, status update on the McKinleyville Town Center. So staff recommends the board of directors consider potential meeting topics and the proposed meeting dates, take public comment, and provide direction to staff on which topics and potential meeting dates to propose to the MCMAC for the annual joint meeting.
Please, Craig.
Thank you. Yeah. When we were proposing topics for the MCMAC meetings, I had brought up the whole emergency preparedness in our area as something that would be a really good idea that we could have sheriff's department and in the fire department in that be present, and we could kind of have an opportunity for the community to sit in and for the MCMAC to be able to hear what's going on. And it fell right after what happened down in LA with the fires. I would not be opposed that if we just kind of did a single have a joint meeting between the two of us and have that be a single subject that we do about, discussion of, because I mean, no discussion about our emergency preparedness in this community can go on without MCSD being able to talk about our ability to be able to supply fire flows and things like that. So, I don't know, it's just a thought. I'm open to, I like the whole incorporation exploration in the community forest and the town center and all that stuff, except for that stuff's, we're flogging a dead horse on most of that stuff as it is.
I'm not coughing at Craig's comment. I apologize. I'm about to take a whiff. I'm sorry. I didn't want to think I was pivoting.
But anyway, so that's my opinion, but I'm just one of five.
Thank you, Director. Any other board comments?
No, I just think that the three topics are the three top topics and therefore more than appropriate for inclusion in our discussion.
Well, thank you, Director Bender. I think that Director, just my opinion, Director Orsini's position is one of the top three, and incorporation is about the bottom of the whole kister. But that's because of my opinion of the foolishness of it. But that's a whole nother matter. People want to spend their money. That's their business, whatever. Anyway, I think that I know that Greg's suggestion and position on this is a high priority. When, and Director Orsini can comment on this. We were part of the program and training for emergencies at the airport. We used to go have 2 and 2s with our, excuse me, guys. With our fire department and the OES and the airport, we used to do that. And oh, sorry, but thank you, buddy. Don't wave at me, holler. I don't see. When General Manager Sope was here, we started doing this. And then when General Manager Orsini was here, it got continued. And we would go to the meetings. And we were working, and this has been one of my
Actually, the 2x2 started while I was interim between marking and
that's right.
in Chopay.
And we started doing that.
Yeah, and we still do. And we go to the.
Well, that's
OES
fine.
meetings.
And I know we do, and I appreciate that. And I haven't been part of that because I haven't been up that food chain yet. And then maybe next year I will be, but whatever. There's lots of things that go on in this that MCSD and us as directors and our staff who are outstanding and know so much more about the subtext of all of this. Simply, if there's a major disaster and everybody's rallied up at the airport and the fire department's got their water hoses laid out, you know what? There's people that they want to be standing there with paddles, telling people to slow down to drive over those hoses. Now, it's just one silly little example of the kinds of things that community members, elected officials, staff people can do and need to do if necessary. So I'm not saying we'll do that. I'm just saying that being part of this process and part of the whole communication chain. And Pat, I know you know that we've made an arrangement in emergencies to let I think not only Blue Lake but Fieldbrook use our facilities when necessary during emergencies and disasters. That's important stuff to do. So believe me, that's much more important than the feel-good exercise of incorporation. I know I don't care what the rest of the board thinks. I'm not trying to make, it's not the issue. I'm just stating what I think are more priority positions. So the board may not want to change incorporation for the safety thing, but I think if you don't want to do that, you may want to add Greg's suggestion because I think it's very important.
Yeah, well, I think that subject is probably a whole board meeting.
Yeah. Anyway, that's my 2 cents worth.
After we
thank
hear
you for indulging me.
After we hear from Dave, I'd like to respond.
Yeah, thank you for indulging me, and other directors have anything they'd like to say about that, please do.
I was going to say, I liked all three suggestions from staff, and I also like Greg's suggestion, so I don't know if we can do 4 or.
Yeah, we can do 4.
Well, we can, the McMac needs to weigh in too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I guess I would propose that we list 4 with the emergency preparedness as number 1 and incorporation as number 4 and the other 2 thrown in there and then let the McMac weigh in as well.
So, so can,
Absolutely. Go ahead, you guys.
the town center, but by October, the town center thing is gonna be, it's gonna be to the planning commission and.
Yeah, potentially even the board of supervisors,
And being
right?
the board of supervisors. So it's
And
stick a fork in it. It's done.
right, and the McMac might have had more than enough on it as well. and
Right.
we
Yeah. And we've,
talked about
yeah.
that.
And like I said, that's why I said we've flogged that dead horse enough at the McMac. In fact, it should have, I understand why you guys didn't pass it at this last board meeting or at this last McMac meeting, but it should be done and over with. The
Right.
community forest, we have meeting, there's a meeting, there's a community forest meeting, there's a forest management plan meeting, and there's a TICS meeting, a trails meeting every month. Isn't that enough meetings on that? If somebody's interested in that, they could go to any one of them meetings, or they could go to all 4 of them,
I agree.
or all 3 of them. In the incorporation meeting, I can see that, that would probably draw some people in for some interest. But
I'm not.
I
saying that you have to
stand,
get rid of it.
I think the most important thing right now is to start talking about emergency preparedness,
That's 100%.
because we're not talking about it. And we watched the whole community burn last fall.
And we have been working nonstop and are continuing to address that issue with our community forest and our request for funding, and our participation in not only state, but federal emergency fire, restoration, issues, legislation. So,
Yeah, we need to have the
Yeah.
sheriff's department and our local fire department on. at the
I
table.
agree. So not to act like we got the biggest boy jeans in the state, but I think we're on the right side of this issue. Any other comments from the board?
The only other comment that I had was that October would probably be the best date or month to have this in.
Yeah, I'd rather do it in October. I concur with October. So
Director
we agree on something there, Scotty.
Couch? Director Couch.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear. Well, I like the inclusion of the emergency service into this. I was just saying all 3 of them, even if we're, maybe we'll be done with the town center, you never know, it could fall
Well,
out.
Well, even if it goes on to some other iteration, we've done our due diligence on
Yeah.
it, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. All right.
And I'm actually gonna be in town on the 22nd of October.
All right. All right, so,
What about September 24th?
Let me see. That, I think I'll be back by then.
all right, are you guys looking to me here now?
Staff still needs, I think, definitive direction. At least I don't understand the definitive.
Yeah, I'm
direction.
available for either the
Either of
24th or the 22nd, so.
Uh,
For October.
and,
It's not made a motion, didn't you, for October or not?
so
I
do you,
didn't make a
I thought you
motion.
did.
which,
I'll move that we do it in October.
and I appreciate the motion, subject to a second on the motion. Are there any comments in the, gallery? And seeing none.
Hi, I'm Elaine Weinreb, community member. And regarding Director Mayo's interest in having a emergency preparedness session, have you thought about inviting CERT, which that's what they're all about?
Well,
I think
Scott,
they're part of.
yeah, I think we would
Yeah,
invite them
they're-
considering Scotty's on cert.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
for
Alan.
bringing that up though.
Thank you. And yes, they are a part, definitely a part of that.
And I am a charter member of CERT
Yeah.
myself.
I figured we would, I didn't bring them up because I figured with Scott sitting at the table, it was,
Right. They have been different iteration, but they have been part of that when I was part of it quite some time ago. Yeah. So, all right. So do we need to enunciate the dates, Joey, or?
Nope, that's the only thing that is clear is there's a motion for October.
yeah,
All right.
22nd.
We still gotta make some sausage on what we're gonna recommend back to staff.
Okay. So let's make a little sausage.
Why don't you have Joey call the question on the date?
Are we going to do that first? Call the question, please.
I think I'd prefer, personally, if I may, I'd prefer to have you guys establish a date and the topics. and We
Gotcha.
can move.
Sounds
on
good.
The date and the topics.
Okay. So have we decided that we're going to add 4 topics? Or are we going to eliminate the town center?
Do 4 in October.
I think if we're gonna have the emergency preparedness, I don't know that we're gonna be able to handle all 3 of these things plus the emergency preparedness in a 2-hour meeting or a 3-hour meeting.
So let me,
Everybody's gonna be so packed with emergency preparedness comments.
well, maybe
Well,
not.
we're gonna have, I think that we're gonna have, I don't know. Do you think
This
that
is
there's,
between the MCMAC and the MCSD, I don't think it's going to include CERT as.
Unless we invite them.
proposed.
we'll invite them, just like we're gonna invite the fire department and the sheriff's department.
Okay, and you should also then invite a representative from the Office of Emergency Services.
Well,
to
obviously.
Third answers to.
Obviously.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
Well, that's a given.
Yeah.
It's a total given.
Yeah,
So-
yeah, because I want a full room here that we can have a discussion. I
Right.
mean, this is, yeah.
So I think
If it's gonna be
that-
that robust.
gentlemen, that side discussion is moot. If we decide to do that, we will invite the appropriate or inform the appropriate people. But what
Yeah.
I want to know from our general manager and staff, if necessary, what are your comments relative to us putting all 4 on, whether that will be enough time for all 4, or whether we should perhaps eliminate the town center? I'm just.
I'm prepared to make a motion.
Well, let me get their, if you don't mind, could we get their comments or?
Staff's comments?
that's-
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, thank you.
I think Greg's right. If we try to get all those agencies together and focus on that, then we absolutely don't have time
You
for
don't have time.
4 topics.
Okay.
I am going to reiterate that I think we should give the MCMAC the opportunity to weigh in. on it.
Yeah, so my motion is going to kind of,
Yeah, and I'm sure he'll have, okay, so the next question for you, Pat, is do we eliminate something to allow that or not, in your opinion? And you're more into this, I mean, I'm really not that on top right now of all of that. I mean, I'm doing it.
It looks like.
Can I weigh in just a little?
Absolutely.
Speaking to Greg's comments specifically about wildfires and burning down the whole town, we do have the CFIPS grant that we will be doing some forest treatments hopefully this year, definitely next year. So that could be a piece of just the emergency preparedness. Like we could present on the work that we plan to do for the community forest as one piece of that emergency preparedness. If we do invite the sheriff's office to prepare or to present the fire department, if we invite CERT, if we invite Red Cross, if we invite someone from the county, I also agree that I think emergency preparedness could be a full, robust meeting
Yeah.
focus.
Yeah, and I agree with Kirsten. I think that we can't have this emergency preparedness conversation without the community forest being part of that, because
Right.
I mean,
Right, yeah. So, just for my, keeping it together in my head, I'm hearing that perhaps we're wanting to also do a separate in-depth meeting on this issue. Now, I'm just saying that, and I'm not trying to jump in front of Greg's motion, because Greg's got a motion he's wanting to make, which may or may not solidify all this. So that's just a question, that's all.
My thought was that if we focused on emergency preparedness and we included specifically the CFIP grant projects that we will be doing as one of the components, I think we will have, and all of those other things. I don't think you're going to have time to also, for the public comment that may come in general about the town center and incorporation.
All right, so thank you all for your comments, and anybody in the public, anybody online? I think Director Orsini has a motion he'd like to make.
Well, I've got one more comment, and that is that
Go ahead.
the MICMAC had formed a subcommittee on disaster preparedness here in McKinleyville, and their acronym is MREADY. And
Cool.
I forgot what that stands for. Do you remember what that stands for?
McKinleyville, something, something, something.
Yeah, I figured them was from
Ours got to be a
McKinleyville.
response.
But anyway, yeah, they have a meeting on the 21st of July. It's probably going to be at the Chamber of Commerce office like it was last time. So I'll at least know more about it at the August board meeting.
So are you on that committee?
I am.
Cool.
So you'll be there?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so I don't have to ask any board member to volunteer to be there. Scotty's already gonna do it.
So are you ready? Are you ready for my motion?
I'm ready. Anybody else? Okay.
So my motion is, are you ready, Joey?
Yes.
It's not going to be per staff recommendation. So my recommendation is that, that we prioritize McKinleyville emergency response and preparedness as the number one request for a board item. That the community forest be number two, incorporation be number three, and town center be number four, with a strong preference that the meeting focus on emergency preparedness, the whole meeting be focused on emergency preparedness, and that our general manager work with the chair of the MICMAC to put together an agenda. And should our board president be involved in that? I'll just say the general manager and the chair of the MICMAC work on putting together an agenda. And that this come back again to the MCS, to our board, to discuss when you've got something of more substance.
Okay. So do you have that in
our
a,
date preference as well?
Oh, yeah, and that we prefer October 22nd. Thank you, Scotty.
was that too wordy, or do we need to pare that down for you, Joey, or?
I got it.
You got it good?
Got it, good.
Okay, is there a second to that
Well, I was
motion?
gonna say, I would like to maybe add our board chair to that as well as. Just so there's a representative from this
I-
board on there. kind of.
I would like to say yes on that if I was board chair at that particular time, that might be Director Beitman. And,
I think
Actually-
it's going to come back to us anyway,
Okay,
but
well, that's fine.
yeah. I was gonna say that my comments were probably moot because whoever's the board chair at that time, I'm sure will
Yeah,
go.
I mean, I would just like to have somebody from the board on
Yeah,
it. So it's-
yeah.
because-
and so I'll accept that friendly amendment, add the MCSD board chair to that.
Sounds good. Any public comment on that motion? Any gallery comments? Any staff or comments? I'll call for the question.
No, we still need a second.
Oh, I thought we did.
I'll second.
I don't know whether I'll let you now or not, slow as you are, god dang it. Please call for the vote, Joy.
Director Bender,
Yes.
Director Couch.
Yes.
Vice President Mayo,
Yes.
Director Orsini.
Yes.
All right, we're now at item number 4, consider approval of the general manager and board members to speak on behalf of MCSD in support of the town center ordinance at the Humboldt County Planning Commission and Board of Supervisors meeting. Well, isn't that an interesting paragraph? Which board members do you want there?
Any that are interested.
So I think that's you, Pat, if you would please.
Thank you, Vice President Mayo. The County Planning Department has been working with the McKinleyville Municipal Advisory Committee, or the MCMAC, for the last 6 years, working to draft the town center ordinance, the current version of which is attached to your board packet as attachment 2. As the board is aware, the county prepared a draft EIR, which was circulated for public review. The final EIR is being prepared and will likely go to the MCMAC for their review at their July 23rd, 2025 meeting. It will then go to the Planning Commission for review at their August 21st meeting and the Board of Supervisors for consideration of approval at their October 7th meeting. Note all those dates were just Planning Director Ford's estimates of when it would hit the Planning Commission and the Board of Supervisors. The Planning Department and the MCMAC have done an exceptional job crafting an ordinance that will lead to the development of a town center that staff believes will be a huge asset for the community of McKinleyville. Staff believes that the Life Plan Humboldt development is just the first of future developments for the area that will benefit McKinleyville and the county as a whole. The general manager would like to be able to attend the Planning Commission and Board of Supervisors meeting where the town center ordinance is being considered and speak on behalf of MCSD in support of the town center ordinance. The general manager's proposed public comment is included as attachment 1. So staff recommends that the board review the information provided, discuss, take public comment, and approve the general manager and any board member to speak on behalf of the district in support of the town center ordinance at the Planning Commission and/or Board of Supervisors meetings where it is being considered.
Thank you, Pat. Well, any board comments on that? Any comments from the audience? And the gallery,
Yes,
staff?
there's Steve's iPhone. I
Oh,
assume
gallery, I apologize.
Supervisor
Pat. I
Rock.
didn't understand. And who are we speaking to, Joy?
Supervisor
Jones.
Thank you, welcome, and please give us your comments.
Thank you, Director Mayo. Yeah, I just wanted one correction. Pat, the meeting for MCMAC was changed to July 30th, not the 23rd. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Joe, you have that, and my apologies. Okay. And Pat, you have that in your calendar, of course, I'm sure.
Yep.
Yeah. So at this time, any comments from staff or?
Seeing no comments, I'll move the motion.
I'll second. Had to wake
When?
up.
When?
What are we waiting for here?
Well, we're waiting on somebody. Okay. Motion's been made and seconded. And I don't see any other comments. So would you please call the question?
Director Bender,
Yes.
Director Couch,
Yes.
Director Mayo,
Yes.
and Director Orsini.
Yes.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, we're going to take a quick bio break, folks. About 3 minutes or 4 minutes, if you would, please. I need to stretch my neck.
Hey, Steve, are you still there? He's still there. May not hear me.
I am here. Yes, David.
Hey, what
Director-
was that committee that I was gonna serve on that we talked about at the
Yeah, that's the Design Review Committee
design review committee? Okay.
for McKinleyville projects on parcels that have an action on them and they have a D in their zoning. The D stands for Design Review Requirement. And it's an existing committee. You would be the third member of 5. And I'm still looking for 2 other members to join the committee. Thank you, David.
Thank you.
Hey, Dave, I got about 1,000 pages, if you can't, from when I was on the Coastal Commission way back in the day. I've still got them. You can use them. It's just, I can't.
You can have the boxes?
You can have the whole damn box. You can't. I'll give them to you.
Was that recycling?
Yeah. I just found them all the other day. I was moving stuff around in the garage. So all these boxes. Oh, my God. You cannot believe what you can't do.
Oh, I know.
Live there. Goodness. Yeah, why?
I'm predicting we're out of here by 8. Being optimistic.
With any luck.
That's a short.
More cookie. I'm gonna go get a.
You gonna want to buy any alfalfa, hey, Dave?
Oh. Yeah, maybe. I mean, are you still getting a truckload?
Couple truck and trailer, no chairs.
Couple.
So I don't know how soon you get here. But I'm down to about 10 tons. So that's kind of the point where I start going, oh shit, I'm out of hay. Right now, it's not been too bad, plenty of feed still. Drying out, but probably in about 3 weeks, I'll be eating full board. On that town center deal going to the board. Maybe in your discussion later at the end. If 1 or 2 of the board members want to go and speak to them. Seen the time when several, more than that, on the bill, say something. Maybe we can chat about that. Bring that up. Yeah, I'll bring it up. I don't know whether you were there, well, maybe it's the water district, excuse me. The harbor district was there and all 5 of them spoke to their bit of a kerfuffle for sure. But there's no repercussion to it.
Yeah, but that was specifically on something that was in their jurisdiction. This is not.
Financial. It was a financial.
It was still their financial bill.
Yeah,
I mean, anyway.
yeah, but this is about the town center ordinance. It really doesn't have anything to do. But we can just, we can discuss that.
When I was talking about clarification, those
Yeah.
are the kind of clarifications I need to get right in my head. Be back, sir?
I'm back.
All right, we're back from our bio break. And thank you all. Okay. So we are at item 5, am I correct?
Yeah. good job.
Consider
You did-
approval of the California Forest Improvement Program,
You didn't lose your place.
CFIP grant project, and it's on page 127. And the attachments are on page 129, all the way to page 155. And that, is that you, Kristen?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Would you please give us the report on that?
Of course, thank you. Over the course of the last 3 meetings, the Forest Management Plan and Funding / Budget Subcommittee, doesn't have a fun nickname, has worked closely with BBW and Associates, Mark Andre and Greg Bloomstrom, to identify and refine a list of eligible forest management projects for submission under the California Forest Improvement Program, or CFIP grant. These projects, as described and maps in attachment 1 and 2, align with the goals outlined in the McKinleyville Community Forest Framework Plan and are focused on improving forest health, increasing wildfire resilience, and supporting long-term ecological stewardship. The initial project list has been adjusted in light of the district not receiving the Cal VTP grant funding, which would have supported the implementation of shaded fuel breaks in high priority areas. To address this gap, portions of the shaded fuel break work have been incorporated into the CFIP proposal to ensure these critical treatments can still move forward. At its June 17th, 2025 meeting, the McKinleyville Community Forest Committee reviewed the proposed CFIP projects and recommended that the MCSD board approve them with the following modifications to attachment 2 and the projects. So on the map, revise the RX2 treatment area in the Gwynn Road addition to run east-west along the southern boundary of the forest instead of north-south along the western edge. Add project descriptions RX1, or add project descriptions for RX1, RX2, and RX4 to the map legend. Correct or remove the First Street location indicator. Staff have determined this access point is located on private property and therefore should just be removed from the map. These changes have been incorporated into the final project materials attached to the staff report. The full committee also requested staff develop a communications plan prior to the implementation of the work to notify the neighbors of the proposed work. If the grant is awarded, the communications plan will be developed and brought back to the full committee for review and approval prior to it being implemented. The total estimated value of the proposed projects remains below $250,000, which is the maximum funding allowed under the CFIP. The grant requires a 10% local match, which means the district which the district will meet through existing budget allocations within the Parks and Recreation Department. Staff and the subcommittee believe this suite of projects represents a strong application for funding and will provide meaningful benefits to the community forest while enhancing wildfire safety, improving habitat conditions, and supporting responsible public use. Approval by the board will allow staff to finalize and submit the grant award to CAL FIRE and begin for implementation pending final grant award. Fiscal analysis, the total project is estimated at up to $250,000. The CFIP grant will cover approximately 90% of costs. The required 10% match would be up to $25,000. Will be met through existing Parks and Recreation Department budget allocations designated for forest stewardship and fuels management activities. No additional funding is required at this time. and environmental requirements, the California Forest Improvement Program grant includes funding for the development of a forest management plan, which has already been approved and awarded through this grant cycle. This plan and the mitigation measures in the project-specific analysis and addendum to the program Environmental Impact Report, or EIR, for the McKinleyville Vegetation Treatment Project should satisfy the California Environmental Quality Act, or CEQA, requirements for the proposed forest management projects. No additional CEQA review is anticipated to be necessary prior to project implementation. So staff recommends that the board review the information provided, discuss, take public comment, approve the CFIP grants projects, and authorize the general manager to execute all necessary grant application and award documents to implement the project through CAL FIRE.
Thank you for your report. Appreciate it. And Yahoo. Let me ask staff first if you would like to comment before I go to the board. Everything good? Any board comments?
Yeah, I'll comment as the chair of the Community Forest Committee. We had quite a robust conversation about this. The expertise of that committee is very impressive, and the recommendation that comes back to you has the full support of the Community Forest Subcommittee, or the Community Forest Committee Subcommittee, or whatever the heck they are. And I think that it looks like it's going to be a really good project.
Great. Any other board comments?
I'd just like to say what I've always said in the past. I will support whatever the Community Forest Committee decides. That's why they exist, to do the lifting for us, and to do their homework.
Director Couch, any comment?
Well, I'd agree with Scott there, but I was wondering about on the Gwynn addition, it looked like we're moving the zone from kind of the west side to the south side. And I just wanted to note that on private property. That's private property. Is that what Scott said?
It's actually
Yeah, Community Forest.
in the Community Forest property.
First Street, one that was private property.
So David, that's up off of Holly and Lime. It's actually that corner. So it's not near First or Second Street.
Cool.
And that's our sewer easement, correct?
Yeah,
Plus
that's
it-
one of the reasons.
Plus it's our sewer easement already,
Right.
Dave.
Okay. That makes
Very
sense.
good. Any comments from the public? Thank you, Craig, my brain. Seeing none, any comments from the gallery? Thank you for your presentation, and thank you for everybody for the hard work on this. And again, my first comments were Yahoo. We're pretty lucky. Everybody's working hard, and our staff is working harder than everybody. So thank you. And that looks to be it until we get to reports.
We need a motion in a second.
Oh, I thought this was just a,
Action item.
oh, I didn't know that. I thought I read it was a informational item. I apologize. Joey, if you please.
We need a motion.
I so move.
Second.
Comments? None? Now, Joey, if you'd please.
Director Bender,
Yes.
Director Couch,
Yes.
Vice President Mayo.
I say yes, and I apologize again. I thought it was an informational item.
Director Orsini.
Yes.
All right, now we're going to go to active committee reports and Park and Rec Committee. Would you have anything to add?
Okay, well, that'd be me, and I did not attend the last Park and Rec Committee as I had a roadside emergency. A senior got a flat tire and I had to go rescue her. So Hope that's a good enough excuse.
Yes, a good Samaritan is always,
Any cookies coming from
A-
that
a-
rescue?
a good Samaritan always outweighs a public official, and especially a politician.
There you go. All right, thank you, Director Bender, on that. McKinleyville Area Fund,
That'd be me too. We did not meet.
and I would like to add to that McKinleyville Community Services District, or excuse me, McKinleyville Rodeo Association, which I am the president of, was finally successful with a small grant application from McKinleyville Area Fund, and we want to thank them and John Colstead for his support for us on that.
Good.
Yeah. Redwood Region Economic Development Commission. Well, we had a meeting and I was there. And Joy, by any chance, did you get that, those copies made? About the
They're on my desk,
mussels?
So he did get them made.
Okay.
but I will scan and email them out.
So I don't even know the name of, I need my copy. I don't even know the, so we are having not only nationally, but in the state of California, and we're freaking out that it may happen at our water source. There's do you remember the name, the American mussel or the golden mussel? Thank you. The golden mussel has introduced itself into the United States water systems, and it is one nasty Oscar. You can't get rid of it. The quagga, we had a system developed which Humboldt Bay Municipal Water District, and Pat, were you there when that was first in? Yeah, really took it serious, as did the majority of California waterways. And by the time we saw them, they were pretty endemic, actually. So we worked. This mussel, boy, it's a bad Oscar.
Yeah. From what I've read on it, they're actually contemplating not letting you put your boat, if your boat's not in the water.
Absolutely.
You're not going to get it in the water.
And it's going to have to be a very draconian effort. So I brought that from REDEC. We had Humboldt Bay Municipal Water District was there with their presentation on it, plus what they knew from other areas about it. And so we'll get that to y'all. And it's a big deal, guys, and we all need to, anything that we can do as the effort goes out for letters or support or just talking to your neighbors. As a matter of fact, I've been taking care of my aunt who had a stroke in Eureka, and two of her neighbors are professional contractor type individuals, very successful, and they lived there by her and got these fancy things. And I went out and talked to them about it, and they were appreciative to hear and had been active participants in the quagga efforts. So it's kind of up to us all to also be the spokesperson. We can't step back and go, oh, you all take care of it. It's one of those things that we all have to stand up for. So go ahead, Greg.
Yeah, James. So because you fish and you move your boat around quite a bit, what's going on as far as on the ground?
Not surprised to put my boat back in the water after going somewhere else. However, I've fished Ruth for several years. I did go up there about 4 weeks ago, I think it was. And the inspection I had on my boat this time compared to the ones I've had in the past, very extensive, and they are actually doing a really good job.
Good deal.
I mean, they looked under everything. She actually stuck her head down into my live well and looked around the rim, the edges. I'm one who keeps my boat very detailed, so I wasn't concerned, but there's a lot of boats that I'm sure were turned away. There's a lot of also illegal docking in Ruth Lake where people can just go put their boat in without going through the marina and getting their boat inspected. And they shut those down as of that day. So, which is also a place that I sometimes go in because it's closer to my camp, but they shut all those down and you had to go through the marina, the main marina or the rec center marina, and they had inspectors sitting there. So I thought they did a great job on it.
Good deal. Well, that's good to hear.
There's your couple campers who own property by the lake that can get their aluminum boats in,
Yeah.
but other than that, I think they did a great job.
Right. Well, and I appreciate hearing that because my understanding is that it, which is the case everywhere with these invasive species deals. One person who's a jackass or who isn't even a jackass just doesn't get it, comes from somewhere and throws his aired up little raft in that he had at XYZ and we're shafted. So anyway, so thank you for that. On the other aspect of REDAC, which is that they're working on their membership for voting, and the organization had a certain number of members and to have a quorum and not a quorum, and trying to figure out what to do about people who aren't participating. We had a 3-year deal and now was it a 3-year? Yeah. Anyway, so that's kind of an issue right now because without a quorum, it's hard for them to do their legal obligations for their, because they're a fiduciary. Okay, so they have legal obligations just like we do. They're not just a committee. So anyway, so they're working on that, trying to determine what kind of buffer they can give for that. ORIC hasn't showed up for a long time, but when I first got on REDAC many years ago, ORIC was there all the time. A lot of our members are scattered in the hinterlands of the county. So other than that, financially, REDAC is doing well. Our portfolio is doing very well. And of course, there's pluses and minuses always, but our GM is on the ball. So thank you for that. Next is McKinleyville Senior Center. Mr. Bender.
That would be me once again. As always, we're having fun across the hall. We just added a Roomy Cube component to our Monday game afternoon. And we had, I believe, 7 players last Monday. So we're starting to utilize our Monday afternoons a little bit better. Last week, we also had in this room a presentation by Coast Central Credit Union's fraud department, and they presented on online security and fraud prevention for seniors. And the participants were very engaged, and they asked an awful lot of questions, and it was very well presented. And we're grateful that they came out and invested their time, on behalf of our seniors. And next month, we are going to be hosting another Death Cafe with Dr. Gina Belton, palliative psychologist from Arcata, who talks about how to approach the subject of death in a realistic and supportive fashion. And I've talked about this quite a bit on the panel here. And we've had a few of them in the past. Well, we're looking forward to that.
Yeah. Thank you, Director Bender. Audit and Finance Committee.
We haven't met, but we've got a meeting the day after I get back from Illinois.
All righty. Thank you, sir. Employee negotiations. Director Couch, didn't we tell them no soup for you today? Wasn't that our?
No soup for me today, but we have not met.
And we had no meeting, correct?
Correct.
Yes, thank you, sir. McKinleyville Municipal. Easy for me to say, McKinleyville Municipal Advisory Committee.
Just call it the Micmac. It's a lot easier. Standing room only. And people outside.
Oh, really?
It was a rather robust meeting.
I didn't think anybody'd show up at that meeting.
Yeah, there were a lot of people there.
I watched it online. I finally hung up.
But anyway, the two biggest points there was that Tony Seghetti, one of the deputy directors of engineering for Public Works, came out and we discussed a little bit more about the Hiller Road Quick Build project. And the item of discussion at this last meeting was specific to the roundabout at McKinleyville and Hiller Road. And it was eventually decided that they're going to commit to 1 year for the quick build and specific to the roundabout. And they had it's going to be kind of an oval about. And they went through the traffic safety things. They're going to have stop signs to begin with. And then after a brief period of time, when people get used to it, the stop signs will be removed to provide a full yield experience like we're used to at a roundabout. So we're looking forward to seeing how that affect traffic flows.
No, we're not.
I think we should do, what do they call that? When you put money in and you, for something, what the heck? I'm having a brain
Vending
fart.
machine?
No, a pole. A pole with, that pays off, for how long the delineators actually last when they put the roundabout in. Cause it's just gonna be delineated.
If built correctly, we can just drive right over the bastard and keep going.
No, it's gonna be delineators.
I think be driven over.
They did say that if the delineators
Who
get
came up
driven over after a period of time, they're not going to be replaced. So, I don't see it lasting a year in reality.
I'm curious.
But it is.
And I haven't been paying attention to it like I should have because I don't want to. Who actually has the authority and did have the authority to actually approve that? I don't think there was any consensus from our community.
The roads department and the Micmac,
My God,
Tom Manson.
my God.
Tom Matson brought it to the Micmac and we approved it.
Sorry, Dennis.
Don't tell Dennis, sorry, tell the rest of the damn community, sorry.
All right.
Anyway.
If
move
you're
on.
not at the table, you're.
Right.
Yeah.
Also speaking
Well, that's why I
of
put you at the table and you didn't look out for me. You ate my feet.
or
Hey,
I've got the floor, Chairman.
well, only if I give you the floor, sir. Only if I give you the floor. Snap your goddamn ballot.
Let him finish his community.
You have the floor, sir.
Thank you. Okay, next up was Bonnie Oliver, who was the chair for the Active Transportation Subcommittee. And they were discussing about the artwork that they're going to be placing in the various places on the quick build as well. And she was given the go-ahead by the full board to go ahead and do that. And they're going to be working with Two Feathers rather closely in order to develop the appropriate artwork and have them involved as well. And we went on to discuss the town center ordinance a little bit. Bonnie Oliver did some exhaustive research in her archive. She's got binders full of agenda minutes and stuff, and she pulled out every meeting and town discussion, workshop, all that we've done that pertained to the town center, organized all that on paper, and there were a lot of hours that were put into town center discussion, workshops, and public meetings here at the portable behind the elementary school, the high school, the teen center. There's all kinds of community outreach.
Yeah, we actually met at the center once too, I think.
And the center.
Yeah.
Okay, but anyway, she just showed the amount of public outreach that was done, to garner public feedback as the design process for the town center ordinance took place.
Really? Because I read on Facebook that there wasn't hardly any community input on the town center ordinance.
Oh, there was. Okay, but anyway,
Qualify that?
anyway, it went along, and we received quite a bit of public comment. Several members of the public were a little dismayed that they were limited to 2 minutes for their comments, but there were so many people, and it was it was time limited during that meeting. And so we went on from there, and we're gonna wait until next month when the final EIR comes back. It's gonna be held here in this room, the July meeting, and for the final EIR, and hopefully we can get that done. Also, I'm going to back up a little bit, back to the Transportation Committee. There's a proposal to turn Nursery Way into a one-way street, central, one-way going west off of Central. That's going to take the Board of Supervisors approval, though, and that's going to be brought back to the McMacket
Turning Nursery Way and
next month. Yeah, across from
We know where Nursery Way is.
the Bigfoot.
Bigfoot?
Yeah,
Once
I
you
think
let
it has to do with a lot of.
your streets, they don't quit.
Huh. So just the west portion there, and when it makes the bend, it would go back into two-way.
I don't know how far down they're going to take it,
Hmm.
but anyway, there seems to be a parking problem on that.
It
I
couldn't
thought it was
work.
down to the shopping
Yeah,
center kind of.
yeah, but it couldn't work you couldn't go one way down there and have it two ways. That doesn't work.
No,
You can't, that doesn't work. So it would,
it would have to be one way to at least to Heartwood.
yeah.
That's what they're proposing. And that's because of Bigfoot.
No.
It's because when Miller Farms Nursery is trying to load there and the semi is parked out front, or there's people parking in the no parking zone for Bigfoot, they can't get big rigs in there to load or unload. They are reconfiguring their entrance to facilitate it too, but they would have it one way through there and then turn the other side, the other lane into bike lanes as well, two-way bike lanes. Kirsten? more to
Yeah,
add?
it would have to be the one lane all the way around to, yeah.
To Hartwood, yeah.
Yeah, to Heartwood.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely, I don't have an opinion that I will share, but we do maintain the open space zone that is the walkway between Nursery Way and Chanterelle. And just last week, there was a car that crashed into our fence and one of the neighbors' fences.
Did they catch him?
Yes.
Good.
So just, I'm sure those neighbors are in particularly not going to be happy about it being a one-way, because apparently since they've lived there, this is the fourth incident of a car going straight through the walkway,
Going
going
one-way
too
direction.
fast to make the turn.
Going in that direction, the one way would
Yeah.
be, okay.
Yeah, and you'll never see the fusion is gone, so. But all the pieces that are laying in there are all black, so.
So I understand the connection of this with McMack, but relative to MCSD, what's our connectivity to this particular issue? None.
No.
Okay. Except our walkway, except for our,
Except for just the letting you, as the board members, know that there have been apparently multiple accidents
Oh,
there
okay.
from people not slowing down for the turn.
yeah.
So there will potentially be neighbors who are not happy about.
Thank you.
Yes.
Any other comments from anybody about this? Not, All right, audit, employee advisory committee,
Community
community forest committee.
we met. And as we heard subcommittee reports from the TICs and from the Forest Management Plan committee, subcommittee, and as the board approved tonight, you approved one of the things that we heard, did some modifications to, and then approved, which was the CFIP project grant project. And I think that was really the substance of the community foresting. Did I miss anything? Either one of you two? Nothing we're talking about?
All right, thank you for that, sir. Humboldt Bay Municipal Water District, Municipal Water Task Force. I didn't go to a meeting. Did you, Director Couch?
I don't believe we had a meeting.
I don't think we did. Thank you. Legislative and regulatory reports. Let's start with staff reports on that first. Or wait a minute. That, I apologize, guys. I jumped. Legislative and regulatory reports. Pat, do you have anything you want to put on that? Joey?
Yeah, so there's Senate Bill 707 that is a very large sweeping, probably the largest Brown Act bill we'll see for a while. Coming down the pipe, CSDA just took a position of oppose unless amended. It has to do with rules for teleconferencing and requiring most of the state to comply with two-way teleconferencing for their meetings. And as we know, some of our smaller rural agencies and special districts just don't have the capacity to do that. There's also many other facets of that bill that are more restrictions put on local agencies that the state isn't willing to put on themselves. So we're keeping an eye on it and we'll see where we go from here.
Thank you, Joey. I wanted to add that Association of California Water Agencies has an opposed unless modified position at this point in time on that. Director Couch, how about from your legislative stuff? Anything from
Nope, nothing to report.
Okay, Director Bender?
I was gonna mention something about 707, but Joey covered it.
All right, and Director Orsini?
Yeah, I just 70 just to add a little bit more to 707. There's a myriad of issues with 707 that I can't imagine what our legislators were thinking about making those modifications to it. But anyway, we'll see how far it gets.
Yeah, I don't have a positive thing to say about it, but that's all right. Anyway, quite a few legislative things going on my end of the stick, but the only thing I want to bring up tonight is, and I'm happy to say that Association of California Water Agencies nominating committee has selected me for a board member position on the slate that will be coming for us to vote on, and I would hope that most of our region and the board would select me still to be a member. This would be a position ultimately that would put me at the state meetings on the state board, which I was on for about 10 years previously. And so.
And that's vice chair of Region 1.
I'll be vice chair of Region 1 and Region 1, and that would put me on the board.
That puts you automatically
Yes,
on the
yes.
state board.
Yeah. So anyway, let's see if there's anything else. I'm not sure that there's anything else I needed to add. Well, we're involved in the reconciliation bill quite a bit, and the WOTUS, the new WOTUS rule, which we don't know exactly what that's gonna be. All of that stuff's very important to us. So anyway, that's enough for that. I mean, I could go on for all night, but so here we are at staff reports and Finance and Administration Department does not appear to be here tonight.
Yes,
So
it's right there.
I
Look on
am
the screen.
here.
hey, you snuck up on me.
Hi, calling
Hi.
in from Virginia tonight. I am excited to share. So on yesterday, July 1st, we had our junior office assistant start. So she is our high school student that, has a 1,000 hour position with us. She's
Beautiful.
just finished junior year, going into her senior year. She'll work with us for a year. And then if all goes well, we'll get a new one next year. But my reports are she did very well on her first day, quick to pick up tasks. So I'm excited to see how that goes. Other than that, as I said in my report, we're just jumping right into the audit. And we've already finished our interim field work, and our on-site final field work will be the week of October 6th. So happy new fiscal year, everyone.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that. And Operations Department, Mr. Henry, sir.
Nothing to add. Thank you.
Thank you. Park and Recreation,
Nothing to add.
nothing to add. The General Manager,
I do have a few things I want to talk about. Want to draw your attention for the total cost savings for fiscal year 24-25 was $345,423. And that represents real cost savings. That represents, operations going out, getting a quote for fixing something and getting the quote and then deciding, we can do that cheaper. And in fact, doing it cheaper, or looking for the best deal on whatever office chairs. So that's $345,000 that went directly to the district's bottom line and saving ratepayer funds for the future. So I want to commend staff for that. They do a great job, an amazing job in that area. Want to give you guys an update on the 4.5 million gallon tank. It's full of water. It passed the quantitative leak test, so it can lose a certain amount of water over a number of days, and it didn't even come close to that, so it passed that with flying colors. There's a qualitative leak test that is also done. We've been told from day one, you put water in it and it'll start seeping out, but then the concrete will heal up and close up and it'll stop leaking. And it very much has done that, but there are a couple areas that are still wet, and it won't pass the test until you can touch a wet area and not be able to transfer that wetness from your finger to anything else.
is there any kind of obviously date certain it's not doable. Is there any kind of a time projection on when those types of seepages generally cease?
Yeah, we thought it was going to be this Monday. It's down to a very few areas. Last Friday, we're like, let it sit over the weekend, and Monday it'll be fine. It's not yet. And today it's still, there's 2 areas that are left.
Is that holding us up from doing the differential backfill?
Yes.
Damn it.
Is that more or less problematic during dry season?
Yeah, the cold, foggy weather these last few days is not helping it.
Okay.
But nobody's worried about it at all. Everyone is very confident that it's gonna seal up. It's just, we can't say it's past.
Radiator stop leak in the tank. That'll stop it. We'll be able to drink the water, but
For how long? You're not sure how long you'll drink it. You can drink it.
So, but we're still moving forward on that, and
Yeah.
hopefully it'll pass tomorrow.
And I understand that seepage part of it, but taking that out of the equation, how did it hold up in terms.
Great.
Okay.
It didn't even almost come anywhere near the amount that we would have allowed leaking out of it.
Gotcha.
That's 4.5 million gallons of water. How in the heck did you measure the minuscule amount of seepage that you had?
We took measurements from the top over 14 days. And we also, there's a
So you
weir.
guys basically dipped it with a well dipper?
And there's also an underflow weir that we watched and measured how much is coming out the bottom. And
Interesting. It's pretty cool stuff.
did want to also discuss, so got a call from James Gore's staff. James Gore, current on the Board of Supervisors in Sonoma. He's running for McGuire's seat. They are up here for the Arcata 4th and meeting folks in Arcata, but then asked if we had time to get together. Only time was Saturday morning at 9:30 at Joe's Green Barn. So I agreed to meet with them. Also threw that out there. Would like to, so both Scott and Dennis came back saying they would like to meet with staff as well. Want to nail that down. We can schedule a special board meeting if more than 3 board members want to meet with them.
Yeah, I had made the statement that if a couple, if other people were going to do it, that it wasn't important for me to do it. And I changed my mind. I should probably be there as a representative of CSDA and of the MCSD Board of Directors. Is there a way that if the 3 of us aren't together during that time, or if when I approach, if one of us approaches them and talks to them, the other, there's not a quorum there, that we can do that. And if staff's not uncomfortable with that, I'd be willing that we talk to our attorney and find out a way that we can have more than 2 board members there.
Well, we can do a special board meeting.
Yeah, I guess we could just do a special board meeting.
Yeah. We only
I
need
guess that would
24
make it a
hours.
lot easier.
So, thank you, Greg. I would like to query the board. Director Couch, would you like to go?
I'm not available.
You're not available?
Nope.
Director Bender, I know you are
I'm
available.
available, but I don't want the district to go through the trouble of calling a special board meeting, and particularly to the expense of an extra board meeting.
I'll waive my
So, this is.
my stipend.
Yeah, this is what I was trying to reference when I said clarification, Pat, in my comments to you email wise. And I appreciate Director Bender's position on this, but there should be no qualms ever about this board calling a special meeting for things that are pertinent to us and that are important in our advocacy, et cetera. And having said that, that's only for clarification. Quite frankly, if I think it's very important for Director Orsini to meet with this candidate, and I'm very happy if Director Bender would like to meet with this candidate. I would be very happy to just bow out of that, because quite frankly, I'll definitely bump into him and make my presence to this person know, because you all know I do that. So
Yeah, you do.
that's one thing, and I'm happy with whatever decision we decide to do on that. However, the larger discussion about this, and it does need clarification for me. We had a deal 5-6 months ago in Old Town where we had a candidate that actually newly elected that came and had a get together. I went. Director Couch went and Director Beitman went and our board secretary went. None of us knew that we were going between us, but there we all are. Okay, and that's going to happen.
Yeah, and that's perfectly, if you are a member of the public attending an open forum, then absolutely, that's not a Brown Act violation.
Well, I understand that part of that aspect, but it was well, okay, so I'm not 100% clear on where I'm at on that understanding, okay? But this is going to occur regularly. We're in election season. And for a while, and we're gonna have candidates that are gonna pop up and want to meet with us, and we're gonna want to meet with them. And I think it makes a much more powerful advocacy to them to have us if they ask that we query our board, and if there's a quorum that wants to go, that we do that.
I totally agree.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
it's
I-
this was last minute and 9:30 on a Saturday morning. I didn't want to
Understood.
schedule a special board meeting when there's only 2 or less board members that could even make it. So,
Well,
but we
right,
got,
and so I guess that's the only part of it is to and I'm not clear, and I will talk to staff at Aqua about this, and I'm sure Greg is in touch with the CSDA staff completely about that. Because we go do a lot of things where we are representing our board, and it's not agendized in terms of a meeting. And I think I understand the differential there. Having only done this for 20 years, I probably ought to start getting it. But so anyway, that's kind of just my thought on it. So let me bring it back to the board. Who all of you would like to go see this candidate?
it's not the candidate either. It's just his staff.
Oh, just his staff.
Yeah.
So is that a difference for us?
No, it's still not.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just the 3 of us or 4 of us
Yeah.
meeting. Okay.
Well, if there's 3 of us meeting and we're discussing district business, then it would be a Brown Act
Which-
violation, whether it be staff or the candidate
No, I understand.
himself, so.
I understand that. Yeah, I got that. If it's the will of the board that it's all right to agendize this, I would like to go. If it's not the will of the board, I'm happy to let Director Bender and Director Orsini be the representatives with our GM and our board secretary, if you so choose. So what's y'all's?
I think it should be agendized, but I would be willing to not collect my stipend for it.
I'm happy to do that too. I don't, I mean, I give.
Does
them-
the staff have enough time to get a board? Because it's got to be out tomorrow. It's
Right.
got to be posted tomorrow.
Okay.
The other thought I had about all of that, guys, is that a little mercenary, I'm sure, but the barn would certainly like to have the extra business if there was a few people that wanted to show up for the meeting.
It'll get posted. I don't know how much we're going to plaster the town with the posters though. Because I didn't, and I will reach out to Mr. Gore's staff and tell him that we're agendizing it as a special board meeting because they aren't expecting that either.
But before we do that, let me, because I just have one person saying that right now.
Okay.
Director Couch, how do you feel about that?
I'm fine, being a special board meeting.
Okay.
I mean,
So I am as well. And Scott, are you okay
Sure.
then?
Yeah.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Before we vote, are there anybody in the public that would like to comment on this? In the gallery? Would you call the question, sir?
Director Bender,
Yes.
Director Couch,
yes.
Vice President Mayo,
Yes,
Director Orsini.
Yes.
thank you. Well, thank you, Pat. We
Mhm.
appreciate that.
Thank Joey.
And Joey, thank you. for
Yeah,
your-
thanks, Joey, because Joey's going to be doing all the work.
Did you learn how to take, dictation while you were at any of these trainings?
Oh, yeah.
Good for you. I learned one thing years ago, with is a W with a line. That's always helping. Anyway, all right, so now we are at, we did general manager and now president report. I have nothing to add. Board member comments, announcements, reports, agenda items, or requests for agenda items.
Would like to remind President Mayo that Supervisor Madrone is still.
Yeah, let's let Supervisor Madrone.
We can do that.
Okay.
I'm at this particular thing right now. Let's deal with that.
Okay.
Any announcements? Any requests?
Yeah, I've got an announcement. Last week was, we did our strategic planning, our 3-year strategic plan for, CSDA. This is the binder that we did. We went through this in about 16 hours worth of work. It was great. We talked about, gearing up AI, about the national coalition, things that you're going to see, kind of reorganizing the staff, maybe considering getting definitely a strategic plan, or I'm sorry, not a strategic plan, but a succession plan in place, and also considering a support person for the finance department for Rick Wood, that would basically move a bunch of the like accounts payable and payroll and everything back into his department now, because that's being farmed out and done by other staff. So that's kind of the high level things, or the cream of what we talked about. Everything was done on a we policed ourselves as groups. We were broke up into 3 groups of 5. There's 18 of us, but only 15 of us showed up. And we were very good at policing ourselves to make sure that we maintained the 30,000-foot view of things and didn't get down in the weeds. So it was very productive, and it was great to see the staff put forth so much effort in bringing us things that they thought were important, and then listening to the board, to every person that was there participated 100%. There was nobody kind of just sitting there on their hands. Everybody participated. I probably listened more in that 18 hours than I've listened to other people talk in a month or 2 months. That's probably one of my shortcomings. But anyway, it was definitely and Steve Barber, who facilitated our strategic plan before this last one, was our facilitator. So it was definitely a great experience.
Great. Thank you for that report. And now Supervisor Madrone, thank you for setting in on the meeting so patiently, and we'd like to open the mic up to you if you have comments, please.
Thank you, President Pro Tem Mayo. The only one thing I wanted to add was that I wanted to really give a shout out to Ron Miller at Miller Farms and the Tap Room. They both worked extensively with Tom Matson at Public Works to come up with the redesign of Nursery Way. Something that was going to work for all those businesses. We had been trying to get CVS to do a shared parking arrangement with the Tap Room, because they were parking all over Nursery Way where it said no parking. So there were several issues to be resolved, but I just wanted to point out that this was not just the county. This was the landowners along Nursery Way working with the county to come up with what they think is a good solution. But I also appreciate what Kristen said about the car speeding down that road and not making the turn and crashing into that walkway area there. So that may need some additional signage to try and alert people, or some dot bots or something to kind of wake people up, you know, as they're approaching that corner. So I'll share the input that I heard tonight with Tom Matson in regards to that. Nothing else to report. Thank you.
Thank you for that. I have a follow-up on that, and you may or may not know, it's just a curiosity on my part. The fence line between those two places, CVS and the tap room, obviously is a barrier. It was there in the planning process some delineation there that did not allow that flow between those parking lots? And is that something that, if that is the case, is that something that community-wise might a little support help?
Yeah, well, it's basically because of corporate CVS. They were not willing to even sit down with
Okay.
myself or the taproom owner. So it has to do with corporate structure and an unwillingness to consider alternatives, which is really unfortunate because, you know, they don't use that parking lot at night at all. It's empty for the most part. And it was such a great example of where shared parking really could have helped solve a problem. But because of the corporate structure, it just wasn't happening. Taproom made a lot of attempts. I made an attempt. So this was the next best option to try and redesign and work with. And Ron Miller was a real driver behind this, as was mentioned earlier, in order to be able to load, unload, and all that kind of stuff. So, so we'll get it tried out, and if we need to, we'll put some more warning stuff at the end of the road to try and prevent those crashes as much as we can.
Yeah, I think Director Orsini has a question, but I have one slight more. Is there, if you know, in our county ordinances or whatever, is there any restriction at night for people just to park over there at the CVS parking lot and just walk around that little into the fence? Is there any thing that would be a problem just doing that?
Yeah, CVS's liability insurance.
Okay, all right.
That's probably the biggest thing. CVS, even if the management at CVS was amicable with it, the minute that they went back to their liability insurer and said, "Hey, can we let a bunch of people that are going and getting drunk park in our parking lot and then bumble back over there?" Their liability insurance said, "Absolutely not."
Totally makes sense. Thank you. Yeah. All right. Ask and answer, baby. Thanks. I think if there's nothing else to be addressed, I'll call for the adjournment.
I'll move to adjourn.
All right. Good night, everybody, and thank you.
Thank you very much. That was a nice meeting.
Yeah, great. I should have known that.
Yeah.
That's